Hey everybody, we're going to start off with some fun today. All right, here's the deal. If you watched yesterday, you know that Stephanie did a tongue trick. A tongue trick. Well, I'm going to up it today, okay? I'm going to do 3 tongue tricks. I'm going to up the ante a little bit. And you don't think I can do it, Stephanie? You just watch. All right, I'm not at all afraid to do tongue tricks. This is going to be a great experience, so I want you to sit close and watch. And Hannah, if you can't handle it, look the other way. I got this. The kids want to see this. Who doesn't want to see my tongue coming out 3 different ways in very powerful, fun? Oh, Linnell, you're watching? Oh, never mind. We're not going to do this right now. But off camera, when this is done, then I am going to do it. I see, right? That's it, Harley. Thanks for getting my back on this one. You believe in me. I know I can do it. All right. Enough of the goofiness for the day. No tongue tricks for anybody, on camera, off camera. But I did get to use the faces, and that was a lot of fun. All right. Good to see you today. I hope you're doing well. I have a kind of a neat quote that kind of came to me this morning. I'll give you that story later, but we're going to highlight a couple things for you today that have to do with your classes. Obviously, tomorrow is Friday, and remember that your seminar classes are tomorrow with Harley due to the changes we made earlier in the week. So be prepared for that tomorrow, sophomore, junior, senior seminar with Harley on Friday. I enjoyed being on the live Spanish Zoom today. It was fun to see your country flyers, to hear you talk about your responses to them. Great class today. Glad you're a part of that. I know there's Mr. Witt has homework that's laid out for you. Continue to stay on top of that. He's doing a good job. With Spanish being a 4-week class, kind of pace is a little different. So stay on top of that and stay active with him. All right, and then today, science ended in regards to your lectures. I did watch all of the videos today, kind of scanned through them, just to kind of see how things were brought to a conclusion. I do know tomorrow as well is your lab day. All of you have labs that you will be working on. I did see that in Google Classrooms, he's already sent you that lab assignment a day early. So if you wanted to spend more time, if you wanted to get a head start, that was available to you today, and I'm sure you've already seen that. Those labs are due tomorrow by the end of the day, so make sure you're knocking that out tomorrow. I did also look at the science grades from the week. There are a few missing grades. There just was not yet anything posted, and then a couple need to get caught up. So stay on top of that. Bring that science to a conclusion on Friday and be in a good place with that. Mr. Schramm, I really am intrigued with him as a teacher. As I listen to his videos, he does a very good job of being very articulate. He knows his stuff. He talks about it in depth and with expertise, but he does it in a way that's relatable. That's a gift for a science teacher to bring that terminology in kind of a street interaction where you kind of get it and he gets you, and that's a real gift, and he's done that for you. I hope you've gathered that from him. He picked out things that were important for you as you look at those classes going into your fall semester. So I hope you really benefited and enjoyed those classes and got the most out of them. All right, here's our quote for the day. And this quote came to me at the end of my workout. I was at Riverview this morning on the track doing some different things and running the bleachers and just doing things I like to do there. And as I finished up, this quote came to my mind, and I'll tell you why. Here's the quote. A win today in no way guarantees a win tomorrow. This is a one day at a time thing. Here's why I thought that thought. There was a Riverview athlete, a young football player. While I was on the bleachers running bleachers, he joined me on the bleachers. And he said to me, it was, I don't know, 7:20 in the morning. Football players were beginning to get there for their workouts, but he had already been there. And I was intrigued by that. He looked young, probably freshman, sophomore for sure. And he was out there working on the bleachers. And we crossed paths, and he said, I'm trying to put my work in, getting ready for practice. And as we crossed paths and I affirmed that mentality, I thought in my mind, there's a winner. But then immediately I asked myself the question, well, how do I know that? The only thing I know is that he's winning right now because he's out here early, putting in the work, getting ready for practice. I don't know what he did yesterday, and I surely don't know what he's going to do tomorrow. So the only way we know he's a winner is what he did in that moment. And so what I want you to understand and begin to put into your soul is we don't get carryover. We can build on wins, but we don't get automatic guaranteed carryover. It's a new day. You have to put that mindset into practice that day. And if you do, you can put a run of wins together, but there's never a guarantee that the next day is automatically going to have wins unless you put it into practice to make sure it does. Boy, I hope you have a great afternoon. Bingo tonight. Hope to see you there, catching all that energy. You have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Hello. First of all, after Scott's little performance there, he's probably in the lead of the Fun Face contest. Mostly because hardly any of you have entered. Those of you who have, though, I've really loved them. But this is just your last reminder for this week. So you have until tomorrow to send me your fun faces. I absolutely love getting them. I think they're wildly hilarious. But that was a pretty good performance on Scott's part. I know yesterday in my video I was 10 out of 10 awkward. Sometimes I'm just really awkward, and that's okay. I still love myself. Confidence. That's what confidence looks like. But send us your fun faces. Also tonight is bingo. I love Monday nights because it's just fun doing a craft with you all. And I love Tuesday and Wednesday nights because it tends to be a more small, intimate group, and I just really love getting to know those of you who are doing those. And then Thursday nights are just fun because, again, it's the competitive edge, even though it's pure luck. But it just makes me happy. So, see you tonight, 7 o'clock for bingo. This Saturday, same time, same place. Should be our last pickup in June because, as you know, we're going on into July. So, this Saturday, we will see you, our kids at White County Central, and our kids at Pangburn. I would love for you to wear your shirts because Ashla and I will be there, and Ashla, of course, will be taking pictures. And since we don't get the big group photos, I love getting to have pictures of you all in your shirts anyway. It's really all in terms of big announcements that I have, but there's also something that I want to address. I need a second to channel my inner reflective self. Okay. This is actually more on the serious end. So if serious, vulnerable conversations make you uncomfortable, this is not your sign to stop playing this video. It's just your little forewarning. You need to keep watching because if vulnerability makes you uncomfortable, that probably means you need to hear this almost more than anybody. But as the director of Upward Bound, I hear little pockets of bubbles of things, which is also really important because I'm also a counselor. And the people who are with you day in and day out, I know that it is very easy to look at myself or to look at Harley, your two counselors in particular, or even Mariah coming up as your counselor-elect for next year, and think that we've had perfect cookie-cutter lives. Some of you who were at one of our Upward Bound Saturdays this year heard a little bit of insight into my life and my story, knowing that there is not much glamour or sunshine and rainbows or for sure ease in my high school years. And there's a lot of hurt and wound and trauma and a lot that I've had to overcome. And I hope that that doesn't make you uncomfortable. I hope that that actually gives you a lot of hope, because a lot of you too have a lot to overcome. And Harley, I realized this week that Harley did share last fall her life story with Upward Bound, and it's a powerful story. But I realized that for so many of you, especially our new students, you didn't get the privilege of hearing her story. And so Harley has had a very hard life, and that is putting it very mildly. And I just want us all to come together as an Upward Bound family and be conscious of that and wise, and not to ever make you feel bad, but to actually make you feel freedom. Because when you talk to Harley and I, especially between the two of us, we haven't experienced everything horrible in the world, and we cannot, nor will we ever perfectly understand exactly what we're going through. But between the two of us, we have experienced a lot of death and grief, rape and sexual assault, abandonment by parents, the need to be the adult and be a parent even when we're just a teenager, and to have a lot more responsibility than we ever should have. We have experienced a lot of physical wounds. There's just a lot of really hard things that have happened. And as you all continue to navigate Summer Academy, there's a huge, of course, academic component. But I also know, especially with your seminar classes, there's a heavy reflective component. And one of the reasons that I love working with high school students so much is because I want to be who I really needed. When I was a high school student, I had amazing teachers, but I had two amazing male teachers, but I needed a counselor advocate in many ways, and someone to just understand what I had gone through and to give me hope. And I love that I'm in this position and I get to do that. And I have really wanted you all to have a counseling intern, because as much as you can go on to college and as much as you can do your academics, if you aren't good at knowing who you are and knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, or if you ever feel like you are the only one and no one will ever be able to understand your struggles, and you've had too much bad to where it's impossible for you to succeed, I need you to know that that's not true. I want you to know that you have people in your life truly right now who have overcome a great deal, and we didn't do it alone. And I just want you to feel caught in that. And it is very easy to feel like you are the only person in the world who could ever know what it's like to experience fill in the blank. And I never want to say that we will always know exactly how you feel. That isn't the case at all. But I do want you to know that when you are talking to us and sharing your vulnerability, you're not telling two women who had cookie cutter lives with amazing parents and everything was perfect. One, I don't think that exists. But you're telling people who really love you and who've actually chosen a career to give hope to people. And if you are finding in some of your assignments, like, I really want to make sure I know who I am, please take advantage of that. And a huge part of Upward Bound, of course, is getting you to college, but when you get there, I want you to have the coping skills you need to stay there and to not just survive, but I want you all to thrive. We chose you to be in Upward Bound because you are so smart and so strong and so very capable. If you weren't, you want to be in the program. And so I hope that this encourages you to know that there are women just a few years older than you. Haha, LOL. I'm more than just a few, I guess. But not so old that it's impossible. But I want you to know that you can have a job that you love. You can get the help that you need. Your life doesn't always have to be what it is. And what is normal to you now does not always have to be normal at all. And we just want to help get you to the place for when the day comes when you can go to college and you can start making your own decisions for your life. You are wise enough to do so, courageous enough to do so, strong enough to do so, discerning enough to do so. You guys are so abundantly loved by myself, by Harley, by Mariah, by Ashel, by Scott, by Hannah, by Linnell, by all of your teachers. You are so cared for. And we think about you guys all the time. We talk about you all the time. We want what is in your best interest every single moment. We worry about you. We get caught up and flustered and sometimes get anxiety because we're wondering if you're doing okay. We love you. And we love doing life with you and alongside of you. And I just hope that you know that that is there's a lot more depth to that than you might have thought, or you might have thought possible. Anyway, normally I like to be awkward and fun, but I just needed to say that because I love you. That's all. See you at bingo.